Recording in progress.
I'd like to call this meeting in order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we start with a roll call here?
Hey, Council President McIrvin.
Here.
Councilmember Prince.
Here.
Councilmember Perez.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Here.
Councilmember Albertson.
Here.
Councilmember Rivera.
Here.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
All right, well, we're going to start off tonight with a special proclamation.
Okay, so I have a proclamation, but I also have a long list of accomplishments. So today we're going to do a proclamation for Doug Levy Day. And here is our list of accomplishments.
That's a lot.
Going. Oh my
So
goodness.
let me read this. All right. Whereas no matter how big or small the issue was, Doug always made us feel like our needs were a priority and his number one focus, and always made the success of the Renton community his goal. And whereas Doug demonstrated impeccable style in his sweater and sock choices, always sent out fantastic Christmas letter, and could be counted on for a 4:30 a.m. email followed by a 20-minute deadline. And whereas Doug Levy of Outcomes by Levy began his illustrious career with the city of Renton in 1999, being recruited by then Chief Administrative Officer Jay Covington and then Economic Administrator Sue Carlson over lunch at Armando's Cafe Italiano. And whereas Doug initially was contracted to work on the Port Quendel project, and we all know how that turned out, Renton decided to take him on for more regular legislative consulting. And whereas Doug's tenacity and thorough knowledge of the legislative process helped make simple ideas become impactful realities for our city, such as Sunset Park, where $5.3 million in federal, state, and county funding was secured with his assistance, $500,000 in funding towards gateway features on Exit 7 on I-405. Perhaps the public art could be a statue of Doug. And other projects and funding that assisted the city in ways too numerous to count. And whereas Doug has never been shy about communicating his ideas, opinions, or professional guidance, loves to use the word persnickety in said communications, and has sent 62,337 emails to city staff since 2007. We don't have records before that, so the true count could be closer to 100,000. Doug never encountered a challenge he wasn't up for, whether reaching out to WashDOT, Department of Commerce, Department of Ecology, and other agencies for transportation measures, utility issues, and airport measures, or securing $250 million in state budget for construction of the 8th Street direct access ramp in the Move Forward Washington bill, or assisting on a funding initiative for affordable housing, utility infrastructure. And whereas Doug is highly respected by all our elected officials at the federal, state, county, and city levels of government, and also by his peers, and that respect is a byproduct of his integrity, knowledge, work ethic, and commitment to others. And I'm going to reread some of this. And whereas no matter how big or small the issue was, Doug always made us feel like our needs were a priority and his number one focus, and always made the success of the Renton community his goal. And whereas Doug demonstrated impeccable style in his sweater and sock choices, always sent out the most fantastic Christmas letter, and could be counted on for a 4:30 a.m. email followed by a 20-minute deadline. And whereas we now must hire 2 people to fill the Honey Badger's shoes, and whereas the city of Renton is a great place to work, live, and play, due in large part to Doug's commitment and hard work, always advocating for the city to get the best for its residents. Now, therefore, I, Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim December 12th, 2022 to be Doug Levy Day in the City of Renton, and I encourage all residents to join me in the special observance and send Doug Levy an email of congratulations. I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 12th day of December 2022, signed Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Council President.
I move the proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President McGurven, second by Councilmember Prince, that the proclamation be adopted as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, the motion carries. And we tricked Doug into coming today under the guise that there was an executive session. So he was under false pretense. So, Doug, this is bittersweet for you. I know that this has been a long time coming, but the city is definitely a better place for having had you work for us. So I think what you need to do is come up and we're going to take a couple of pictures, and I'm sure there's a story or two that somebody wants to share. Yeah, we're gonna.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll go down.
the whole beginning of the roll as well. Maybe the mayor should hold the beginning of the roll. I think the mayor should hold it, and it should be like draped across everybody.
Yeah. Two, three, and again. One more. So, hold on, we need one with throw back. You guys
Very nice.
That's so cool. That yeah. Please.
$60,000 emails. That's a lot of emails, Doug. I feel like in the last 3 years, I've gotten half of those. All right.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
So yes, I will share a couple of stories, but more than anything, I want to again thank you, Doc. Thank you for all your hard work, and the mayor and everybody is super right. I mean, thank you for all the work that you have put and the things that we have accomplished. The things that you didn't mention on his proclamation, which is something that we have to go through several times, was snowy days on Olympia. Those days that dog will send me a text at 5 o'clock in the morning. I think I can take my car out or not, but are you gonna make it? Are you already in Olympia? Are we gonna be there? And normally it was obviously Trooper Ryan McIrvin with his Subaru, who will be there first. And then we will catch up later during the day. But really, it didn't matter how kind of weather it was. We have meetings in Olympia, and we have to be there because we knew that the legislators were going to be there because according to Doc, they never close. They are always there, so we could not just cancel. So those and many, many other stories, Doc, that we went through hours and hours walking through those hallways in Olympia trying to bring the best policies for the city of Renton. I really gonna miss you because we were very well together, very, very well together. And again, thank you for your commitment and for everything that you have done for the city.
Yes, Councilman O'Halloran.
Doug, in addition to your sweaters and your socks, I want to say you have the most impressive collection of ties that I have seen on anybody. And I always appreciated to see you dressed up in those beautiful, beautiful ties while you did your wonderful work. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My history with Doug goes back a little further than my being on council. So I had the pleasure of meeting Doug way back in the 2006 legislative session when I was an intern in the state Senate. And the senator I was working for, the district she represented, included a city that Doug represented. So he was actually one of the very first lobbyists that I met in my exposure to the political world. So to me, that is exactly what a lobbyist always was, as far as how Doug presented himself, carried himself. So that was my first exposure to it. And then as luck would have it, or my determination to kind of follow that path as far as my professional career, I had the pleasure of working for Doug for a session and learned pretty much everything I know, every trick in the book from Doug. So I can credit him with all of my knowledge, including how to run between two meetings that are literally back to back, one in the J-Lob and one over in the Ledge building, even though you shouldn't schedule that way if you can help it, but sometimes you have to. And then, I just want to second the sweater and the socks and the 4:30, sometimes earlier, emails. That is Doug in a nutshell. So thank you, Doug, for all you do. And Dave, don't be too intimidated by the length of that list. It was a fairly large font type, so I think you'll be all right.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Doug. I'm happy that you're retiring just because I'm hoping that you get some sleep. Because Vince, you don't sleep. Like the emails that you send at all hours. But seriously, I think you've done more to improve the life of people across the state of Washington than anyone could possibly imagine. And I think when you look up the definition of citizen lobbyist in the dictionary, your picture should be there. Thanks for everything, Doug.
All right. Well, we could definitely go on for the next hour talking about all the accomplishments that Doug has brought to the city. I just want to follow up by saying, even though you're retiring, I know we're going to have to bring you back every once in a while for a special project or two. So even though he's retiring, we might have to sneak him in here or there to help us with some of the more difficult challenges we might have along our way. So thank you very much. All right, the next step is we have a special presentation for Councilmember Kim Convan. Do you have something to read, Jason? Oh, you don't?
Do it.
No, just have to present it. No.
Oh, you'd have to present it. Okay, I have it. I'm usually not the one that reads this stuff, so.
Sorry, sir. I was not aware.
Yeah. So one of our esteemed council members here has completed her certificate of municipal leadership. It takes quite a bit of work and effort to get this, and Councilmember Haller and Councilmember Vaughn have done exceptional work to get theirs so quickly. So I'm going to present this to you. Yeah, we should get
Sorry, was in right.
Yeah, one more picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reading something. All right, next up is our administrative report.
Good evening. In partnership with REACH, the city activated its cold weather shelter from November 28th to December 5th, serving a total of 191 individuals. The City of Renton has enacted Ordinance 6072 prohibiting the sale, delivery, and marketing for sale dogs sourced from puppy mills. The ordinance, which will take effect on January 1st, 2023, was passed unanimously by Renton City Council on July 11th, 2022. A copy is available on the city's website. The city's definition of puppy mill is found in the ordinance at RMC 6-5-4A7. The intent of Ordinance 6072 is to promote humane breeding and prevent unwitting or hidden support for the puppy mill industry or other hidden information about their new pets. The deadline to apply for vacant positions on the Renton Equity Commission and the Human Services Advisory Committee has been extended to January 20th, 2023, with the first review occurring on January 5th. The Equity Commission has a vacant youth position for those ages 18 to 25. The Human Services Advisory Committee has a vacant youth position for those under 21 years of age, as well as 3 regular positions open to all ages. Interested applicants may apply for any of these positions on our website at rentonwa.gov application or by emailing the application to humanservices@rentonwa.gov. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impact projects, road closures, and I-405 work happening this week can be found at www.rentonwa.gov traffic. All projects are weather permitting, and unless otherwise noted, streets will always remain open. That is all, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We are on to audience comment. It looks like we have 5 individuals signed up for comment tonight. When I call your name, please step up to the microphone up there, give your name, city of residence, and the topic you would like to discuss. And you have 3 minutes in front of the council here. And the first person is Kent McCleary.
Good evening, council members, Mayor Pavoni. I'm Kent McCleary, 839 Linwood Avenue, Northeast in Renton, in the Highlands. And I've taught at Lindbergh High School for 21 years, but I'm here to represent the Renton Rowing Center. We've been rowing for, 16 years now, and we've been in the Renton Boathouse since 2016. And we're here to thank you and the city government staff for your support over the years and helping us create our programs. We have very successful programs. We help a lot of people with recreation and just getting on our beautiful Lake Washington. I want to specifically thank Colleen Hunsaker, our Director of Parks and Trails, the Facilities Coordinator Lori Lohman, and Recreation Director Carrie Nass for their help with our boathouse. Rowing develops teamwork, personal discipline, and there's a football coach here in our town that talks a lot about grit, and rowing develops grit. And not to mention a little bit of physical fitness. We started this rowing center with the specific aim of teaching those traits to Renton youth and our community's youth. And so I can tell you about how we had 186 rowers just this year, 46,000 hours of participation, 82 youth, how we've been involved in having, in getting rowing machines into the Renton into the Renton school district so that kids from 8th grade on up can learn a lifetime sport and how to use a rowing machine properly in PE class. But I'm going to let some of our rowers speak for me, if I may. So I'd like to, if I may, sir, bring up the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Yep. And I'm going in order of on the list here. And the next person is Amina Malcolm.
Hello, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Amina Malkin. I live at 254 Seneca Avenue Northwest, Renton, Washington, on the West Hill. I'm a resident constituent of the City of Renton, and I'm a senior at the Renton High School. I'm a team captain and rower at Renton Rowing Center. And we're a tenant of the City of Renton, and Renton Rowing Center is like a vital part of my Renton community. For the past 6 years, the building at the end of Nishawaki Lane has been home to some of my most treasured memories and valued relationships. The boathouse allows me to meet mentors and peers, friends from other schools whom I might never encounter otherwise. Through all uncertainty, the one thing that is certain is not just Renton Rowing Center's presence, but also the support that I will find there. The building is pretty unsuspecting. If you come by when there's no practice, you might miss it entirely in the Cedar River Park. But I'm here to inform you, City Council members and Mayor, that that building that I call the Boathouse is home to a tight-knit, perseverant, and valuable community of young and old from all across King County. Thank you.
The next person is Samantha Case.
Hello, I am Sam Case. I am a resident of Renton. I live at 3232 Northeast 26th 6th Court in Renton, Washington. I am so glad that I came to this program at Renton Rowing Center. I went to this boathouse not knowing a single thing about rowing. I was nervous to learn a new sport and meet new people. I'd never been to a boathouse, but what made me feel comfortable were my friendly teammates and our caring, knowledgeable coaches. They were also welcoming and helped me a great deal while I learned my way around the boathouse and on the water. I love the feeling of being on this team. Rowing's amazing because I've seen that you can put strangers into a 4-person boat and they will bond on the water. We laugh, we play, we joke, but we also pay attention, work hard, and support each other. I've been here for over a year now, and I've even won an award, which was a huge boost for my self-esteem. I feel very lucky to be part of this team. We love our boathouse, our coaches, and each other. There are some things that only rowers get to enjoy, like being on the lake every day, watching a fish jump right in front of you, Foulon's Christmas lights, and a sunset during a rainstorm. That's when the water is the best, believe it or not. There are also a few challenges, like being grumpy in the morning, the bagging cold, and the monster blisters. Rowing has helped me with my confidence. I look forward to practice, even if it starts at 7 a.m., and I've learned how to row and how to be part of a team. I've made lifelong friends and learned how to push myself to my limits. I look forward to what the next few years have in store for me as part of the high school rowing team. Thank you for your time.
And the next person up is Ismail. I can't read the last item. Walam? Ismail?
Hi, my name is Ismail Ma'alim, and I live on 11431 Southeast 162nd Street in Renton, Washington. And I attend Lindbergh High School. I'm a sophomore. And rowing isn't just a sport, it's a community, it's a lifestyle. It's kind of funny how I found out about rowing. I walked into the wrong classroom during lunch, and right then and there I signed up. The Renton Rowing Center also provides rowing opportunities to people of all backgrounds. It offers a variety of programs and classes to help people of all skill levels learn the proper technique and strategies of rowing. These programs are led by experienced and knowledgeable instructors who are dedicated to helping youth get the most out of their rowing experience. With that being said, the Renton Rowing Center is an important resource for the community. It provides a great opportunity for people to stay active and healthy and to enjoy many benefits of rowing. Rowing helped me become more outgoing and teaches me valuable lessons each and every single day. Rowing also makes me feel like I'm a part of something big, because when I'm out on the water, I'm representing Renton. We strongly encourage members of City Hall to support the Renton Rowing Center and its effects to provide accessible rowing opportunities to people of the community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then next is Harrison Ridnell.
Hello, my name is Harrison Ridnell, and I live on 6607 Ripley Lane Southeast, Renton, Washington. And For me personally, I think that a lot of my teammates can agree that rowing as an athlete has changed my life completely. It's taught me how to train hard and work hard, and it has the ability to compete and sort of represent the city of Renton whenever we're racing and leave a positive mark on the rowing community is a great thing. I feel proud to be a rower at Renton Rowing Center, and I can't wait to, after school, come to practice every day and meet my fellow team members and really push myself, but not just push myself, push them as well, and all work together as a team to be able to be the best that we can and use those skills to be able to do well and let the rest of the rowing community know that Renton is a good rowing team. And thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you all for coming and speaking today. And I'll tell you what, the fact that the teachers had the students come and present from the council speaks a lot to the program. It really does. Appreciate the students coming up here, and it's not easy to come up and speak, even for trained professionals. So you guys did a fantastic job. Thank you. And I will say the Rowing Center is one of those amazing hidden gems in Renton. I've felt it's been an underutilized asset in our community for years. And hopefully now that COVID's over, we can continue to promote that facility and that asset in our community. So thank you very much for coming by today. All right, we're on to consent agenda. There are 2 items. Are there any council would like pulled for separate consideration?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
can we pull item B for separate consideration, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President McGurban.
I move approval of the consent agenda minus item B. So
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President McGurban, second by Councilmember Prince, that the consent agenda be approved minus item B. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item B is an MOU that is for shared use of the Meadow Crest Playground and is a separate agreement between the city, the Renton School District, and Bezos One Academy. The approval of the MOU is time sensitive, so the Bezos Academy, Day One Academy, may begin providing tuition-free preschool to underserved members of the city's community beginning in January. So the MOU provides designation times for the Day One Academy so as not to interfere with school district schedule times or the public's availability, and it will be reviewed annually. I motion that we pass this MOU.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the MOU, item B. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. We are on to unfinished business. Council President McGurvan.
no unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Perez.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Van.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Albertson.
No unfinished business. Excuse me, business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Rivera.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The Community Services Committee has 1 item on unfinished business.
Hey, the Community Services Committee report establishment of a Renton River Days Advisory Board. The Community Services Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the establishment of the Renton Rivers Days Advisory Board. The committee further recommends that the ordinance related to this item be presented for first reading and advancement to second and final reading at tonight's council meeting. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor.
Rivera.
I motion that the council adopt the establishment of the Renton River Days Advisory Board.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Rivera, second by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council approve the adopted, what was it again? The River Days,
The establishment of the Renton River Days Advisory Board.
the establishment of the River Days Advisory Board. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Councilmember O'Halloran.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm wearing 2 hats. The first is that the committee has a revised committee assignment report.
All right, Committee on Committees, Committee Report, the revised 2023 Council Committee assignments. The Committee on Committees recommends the following Council Committee assignments for 2023. Community Services, first Monday, 4 p.m. Carmen Rivera, Chair. Kim Convan, Vice Chair. James Albertson, Member. Finance, second and fourth Mondays at 4 p.m. Ruth Perez, Chair. James Albertson, Vice Chair. Kim Convan, Member. Planning and Development is second and fourth Mondays at 5 p.m. Ed Prince, Chair. Ryan McIrvin, Vice Chair. Ruth Perez, Member. Public Safety Committee, third Monday at 4 p.m. Kim Convan, Chair. Ed Prince, Vice Chair. Carmen Rivera, Member. Transportation Committee, first and third Mondays, 5 p.m. Ryan McIrvin, Chair. Ruth Perez, Vice Chair. Ed Prince, Member. And finally, Utilities Committee, first and third Mondays at 3 p.m. James Albertson, Chair. Carmen Rivera, Vice Chair. And Ryan McIrvin, Member. This committee report supersedes the approved committee report from December 5th, 2022. This is signed by the committee chair and a member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember
I move the
O'Halloran.
council concur with the Committee on Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Prince, that the council concur with the Committee on Committee report.
Mr. Mayor.
Any discussion?
Yes. I just want to clarify for the public that the assignments themselves did not change. There was a Scrivener's error with the meeting date, which day of the month it was going to be taking place. So there's no change to assignments, which is correcting a meeting date on the original report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, and all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And finally, the Finance Committee has 8 committee reports.
Finance Committee report approval of claims and payroll vouchers. Finance Committee approves following payments. Accounts payable, total payment $5,818,270.27 for a number of vouchers, including payroll benefit withholding vouchers and 2 wire transfers. And then payroll is a total payment of $1,879,773.22 for a number of payroll vouchers, including 639 direct deposits and 16 checks. This is the November 1st through 15th pay period. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor.
O'Halloran.
I move that the council concur with the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, Finance Committee report, interagency agreement with the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission and a contract with Bravura Counseling. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to 1, authorize the mayor and city clerk to enter into a grant agreement with the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission to accept $30,000 in grant funds for the purpose of funding an officer wellness check-in program. And 2, authorize the mayor and city clerk to enter into a professional services agreement with Bravura Counseling in the amount of $30,000 to perform the officer wellness check-in program. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
And moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The next report is regarding an MOU with the Renton Police Guild. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence of the staff recommendation to approve a memorandum of understanding, MOU, with the Renton Police Guild representing both commissioned and non-commissioned employees regarding a recruitment bonus. The January 4th, 2007 MOU between the city and guild awarded a $500 bonus for commissioned staff that were responsible for recruiting a lateral officer that was later hired. A November 20th, 2017 MOU extended this benefit to non-commissioned staff. 2, the previously mentioned MOUs will be amended so that the current commissioned and non-commissioned represented employees of the Renton Police Department active on the city's payroll system may receive a $5,000 bonus for the successful hiring of a lateral police officer if the employee was responsible for recruiting the candidate. The bonus pay will be distributed in 2 equal payments. The first payment upon the first scheduled payday following the start of employment of the lateral officer, and the second upon the first scheduled pay period following the successful completion of the lateral officer's probationary period. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor.
O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
Then moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
This memorandum of understanding will bring us up to par with some of our neighboring communities in our recruitment bonuses, and hopefully will attract very high quality police to our police force.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Right, the next Finance Committee report is regarding an agreement with the Washington Department of Ecology for a water quality stormwater capacity grant. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the water quality stormwater capacity grant agreement number WQSWCAP-2123-Renton-0072 with the Department of Ecology for up to $50,000 in non-matching funds to assist the city in complying with the requirements of the Western Washington Phase 2 Municipal Stormwater Permit. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Member O'Halloran.
I move that the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The next Finance Committee report is regarding a grant agreement with the King County Flood Control District. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement with King County Flood Control District to accept $250,000 in 2022 grant funds for the Panther Creek at Talbot Road South Culvert Replacement Project. This too is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move that the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding the Rainier Avenue South Corridor Improvements Phase 4 construction contract. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to award the construction contract to Pavetta Brothers Construction Incorporated in the amount of $28,284,172.90 and approve a budget transfer in the amount of $2 million from unassigned fund balance in Fund 305 Transportation Impact Mitigation to cover all anticipated expenditures for the construction phase of this project. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Member O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
By Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The next report is regarding the renewal of the city's liability insurance policies for 2023. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence to the staff recommendation to approve the 2023 liability insurance policies through the city's insurance broker, Alliant, and authorizes the mayor and city clerk to sign the implementing documents in order to bind the insurance policies. The total premium cost for 2023 is expected to be as much as $747,000. The binder agreement will be transmitted by the broker for execution prior to January 1st, 2023. This too is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The final Finance Committee report for tonight is regarding an amendment to the 2023 salary table and approval of Step E for the Economic Development Director position. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the 2023 amended salary table for adjustments due to reclassifications, non-represented employees Phase 2 comp study, and municipal court judges pay scale, and approve Step E for the Economic Development Director candidate. The committee further recommends that the ordinance related to this item be presented for first reading and advancement to second and final reading at tonight's council meeting. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the final Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the final Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, we are on to legislation, and we have two ordinance, one for first reading. Wait, it's all messed up here.
5 total.
We have 5 ordinance, 2 for first reading and 3 for second and final reading. there we go.
So the first ordinance is for first reading and advancement of second and final reading. It's the establish the Renton River Days Advisory Board. So an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, adding a new chapter to 2-22 to the Renton Municipal Code to create the Renton River Days Advisory Board, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Rivera.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read. Oh, no, excuse me, I skipped ahead. I move the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Tonight.
Tonight, at tonight's council meeting. I'm gonna say that one more time. I move the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at tonight's council meeting. Third time's the charm.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Rivera that the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at tonight's council meeting, and seconded by Councilmember O'Halloran. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Hey, I'm going to read it again. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, adding a new chapter 2-22 to the Renton Municipal Code to create the Renton River Days Advisory Board, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Rivera.
I now move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Been moved by Councilmember Rivera, seconded by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the ordinance be adopted as read. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, wait, hold on, second reading.
Yeah.
Roll call. Boy, we messed this up tonight.
It's my fault.
Yes, no, I'll take my L. Okay, this requires a roll call.
Hey, Council President McIrvin.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Councilmember Albertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
All right, motion carries.
Okay, the next ordinance is regarding the 2023 salary table, and it too is for first and second reading tonight. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending and replacing the 2023 City of Renton salary table previously adopted in ordinance number 6088, amending subsection 3102E of the Renton Municipal Code to update the salary for municipal court judges to match district court judges, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
O'Halloran.
I move the ordinance be advanced to second and final reading this evening.
Second.
Been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Perez, that the ordinance be advanced to second in tonight's meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I'll read it again. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending and replacing the 2023 City of Renton salary table previously adopted in ordinance number 6088, amending subsection 3102E of the Renton Municipal Code to update the salary for municipal court judges to match district court judges, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Member O'Halloran.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Perez, that the ordinance be adopted as read. If there's no discussion, this requires a roll call.
Council President McIrvin.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Councilmember Albertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Carries.
Okay, the next three ordinances are for second and final reading. The first one is regarding docket 193, which is commercial zone or CN zone amendments. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending subsections 4260C, 4260K, 4280A6A, 42120A, 44150D, and 44150E of the Renton Municipal Code, modifying commercial neighborhood zone CN regulations, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Prince.
move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember Albertson, that this ordinance be adopted as read. If there's no discussion, it requires a roll call.
Council President McIrvin.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Councilmember Albertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Carries.
All right, the next ordinance is also for second and final reading. It's regarding max height in the CD zone. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending subsections 42110E, 42120B, 42120C, and 42130B of the Renton Municipal Code to adjust the maximum building height in the center downtown zone and correct references to the airport-related height restrictions, and authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Prince.
move the ordinance be adopted as read.
It's been moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Councilmember Albertson, that the ordinance be adopted as read. If there's no discussion, this requires roll call.
Council President McGurven.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Councilmember Albertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Carries.
And the final ordinance tonight for second and final reading is regarding minimum standards for dwelling units. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, establishing new standards for multifamily housing by adding Section 44155 and amending Section 411040 of the Renton Municipal Code, providing for severability, authorizing corrections, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Prince.
move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Councilmember Albertson, that the ordinance be adopted as read. If there's no discussion, it requires roll call.
Council President McGurven.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Councilmember Albertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Carries. All right. We're on to new business. Council President McGurven.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a couple of meetings to announce, or rather a couple of meetings to announce that are not happening in 2022. As my last act as council president, I would like to announce that on Monday, December 19th, there will not be any meetings because it's a council holiday. And then on Monday, December 26th, there will also not be any meetings as it is the observance of the Christmas holiday. And that pretty much wraps it up for me as council president for 2022. So I want to, with that, thank you all for a wonderful year and congratulate Councilmember O'Halloran on the 2023 year. And I'll leave the remainder of the meetings for her to announce. So thank you.
All right.
That's all.
All right. Councilmember Prince.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, January 9th, 2023, the Planning Development Committee will be meeting at 5:45 in the council conference room and via video conference. We have two items on the agenda: Long Range Planning Work Program 2023, Comprehensive Plan Update, Development Regulations Update, and then Emerging Issues in CED. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Councilmember Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, 9, 2023, at 5 p.m., the Finance Committee will meet at the council conference room and via video conference. There are two items in the agenda. First is vouchers and second is emerging issues in finance. And if may I have a point of personal privilege, I just want to thank Council McIrvin, still President McIrvin, for his work during this year as a president. I know personally how hard it is to be a president of the council via Zoom, and you have to do this job for the first solid 3 months, kind of virtual and not virtual, from home or not home, and help us with the transition to move from virtual to be hybrid. And it requires strong leadership, especially when you have two new council members joining the council, and it's always an extra work because part of the mentoring takes a lot of hours, and I really want to appreciate your leadership during this year. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Van.
No new business, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Albertson.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Rivera.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Brennan.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have several items of new business, but first, I would like to present Mr. McIrvin with his Past President's Award and say thank you so much for your leadership over the last year. And you can expect at least a couple of phone calls from me as we move through next year. So thank you very much. Thank you for your leadership. There's the box that it goes in.
Put it here.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me just.
It's a transition. Okay, Mr. Mayor, on January the 2nd, Monday, we will be celebrating the New Year's Day holiday, so there will be no council meetings. on January the 9th, Monday. The committee of the whole meeting has been canceled. The regular council meeting will be held here in chambers and via video conference at 7 p.m. And that is all, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Right. What is the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember Rivera, that we adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone want to stay, say no. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you all.